Hello everyone, my name is Maria and welcome to the channel. Today we continue playing Disco Elysium, getting closer to all the answers, so let's go and find them.
Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
Last time I honestly just didn't notice this thing, so hopefully we can open the door now.
The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been functional in decades.
What is this then?
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out, determine it here.
Would this open the blast door?
I think, yes. Let's see. That one. The emergency open.
Alright, emergency open.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
That is good. That looks massive. Let's go.
A sudden wave of anxiety makes your skin crawl.
No wonder.
After you.
Before, outside, when we were walking across the sand, I felt someone watching me.
So did I. Not back there, but I felt it since we came here.
What's there?
I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
I'm scared.
Don't be. I have a gun.
I also have a gun.
I know. It was not easy to acquire.
Let's go. And now we will finally find out what happened. And why. Walk slow. It might be dangerous. Got it. We don't really see anyone here. Not yet. I hope it's not dangerous. There was enough danger. Small white flowers blossom all around you. A rubber... what? It's deflated, broken. Oh! Hello? Who are you?
An old man, wearing tracksuit trousers, leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
This man hates everything. So did he do it to just start a civil war? You've retained your eyesight.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
A shudder of disgust passes his right side. His left side remains motionless.
Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Is that a Bell McGrave?
It's a 3-Angong 446.
A Samurai rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
The commune?
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from the board.
Are you the fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Did you recently tell 2 kids to put out their fire?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position sounds like a hiding place.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
Did you close the blast door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
With the generator.
I should have burned that console down.
How did you know I was coming?
Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
But we needed it.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
But you didn't say that, Kim. It wasn't rock and roll, it was sad FM.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic, counter-revolutionary dirges. Sadness is a mental illness, a weapon of the bourgeoisie. The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate, hip gyrating, mental illness music.
Your weapon has stayed. No, we're not telling him we have a weapon. Sir, I need you to put down that gun so we can talk further. I'm with the police, you can keep the gun, but keep it down. Not one move.
No.
Oh. Him.
Put it down now, sir.
Kim.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
The old man lays the rifle down carelessly, then looks at it lying there.
Like an amputated limb in the sand.
Pick up the gun lying in the sand.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire. Still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times.
Inspect.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
Yeah, it's like he said.
No one said it has to be a Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangong, too.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
Yeah, it does.
The right type and the right calibre.
He's liking this.
The rifle has been patched and modified several times.
I wonder how old it is.
The old man does not answer. He just stares in front of him. The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
What have you been using this gun for?
No reply. His leg twitches. Strangely, like a puppet on a string. There's something off. You feel it. This was the right question. You need to contextualize it for him first. Turn the key elsewhere. The lock is here. It's here.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
Sure. His eyes turn to the reeds again, dead and dull.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in '07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in '08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the Commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
How long have you been on this island?
43 years.
Oh,
No. I've been on other islands too. I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
again, you've been hiding here for 43 years.
43 years and 10 months.
That's steadfast.
It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He just couldn't.
You couldn't give up.
He nods. But he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41. 2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed across the plaza mosaic.
Oh, our colleagues arrived.
Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Oh, alright, my translation was not correct. Close enough.
Always waiting.
The old man turns his eyes from the shore and back to you. For what?
For her to return.
Her?
Her who?
Girl, child, revolution.
What? I come from there. I can assure you that is not what the people are planning. Oh, I've been there. The city is a tinderbox. It may still happen. I've seen it. Capital is too powerful. The rich are very well organized. Women will always betray you. I mean, Harry is saying that, not me.
Women are more susceptible to bourgeois morals. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load.
What have you done?
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the flame?
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left of the world, of our dreams.
You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
That's right, we enforce the law. We keep these animals from killing each other. I know what it looks like. We're with the RCM, let's leave it at that. We're not coalition appointed, we just try to help people.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste d'Insolande. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit.
You said you deserted your unit.
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too. You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took.
For what?
For reaction to take hold.
It wasn't reaction, you were just afraid.
It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
And this was when?
The lieutenant instinctively looks to his notebook but does not take it out.
May the 13th, 08. 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic. The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower.
He gestures towards it.
Huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon. But I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
A terrible shame still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it. The shame and smallness of what he became.
You didn't go to the map room.
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened at the ordnance all night, and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring.
What was that?
Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality. The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second. To do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know that the bourgeois are not human.
What do you mean?
I had to. I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
The old man falls silent. His black eyes keep piercing your skin, and he looks to some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. So you're a communist soldier from the communist army? Yeah, he said that. How have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
What do you steal?
Supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
We also have Druamine.
We have Druamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain.
I have been running out of that stuff.
A light goes on in his eyes. He smacks his dry lips.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
This is a serious situation. You need to be looked over and we can do it.
There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. Moribund.
You like that Druamine, don't you?
It's the little joys. A dark joke. A sunshiny day. Morphine.
And what about your mental health?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of...
His eyes roll into his skull and back.
I don't even know what. Inferno?
You notice the lieutenant is about to say something.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
What is this place?
It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
How have you concealed yourself?
It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Coal City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequency's dead.
How did you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
I see.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted.
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled together across the water. Why don't you just walk?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
I see. Their ideals are just different from yours.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
The weapons cache under Saint Ghislaine 22B in the basement. Have you been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right? Useless now. Rusted away.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
Wait, how did he get down there?
How did you access the building?
I didn't have to. Came in through the storm drains.
Storm drains?
There used to be a system that connected the bunkers, tunnels and such, under the church and everywhere. Most of them are gone now, collapsed, just bricks. All the old infrastructure has...
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
Alright, I think we know that he was a communist, so...
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
Assess his body language? Composure, and we can't change clothes? Oh, can we? Think we can? Is this a... Yes, this is a white check, so we definitely can. One more time, what have you used this gun for?
What have I used it for? I've used it for killing people.
No doubt about it.
Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first.
Who should I trust?
Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
Did you use that gun to shoot and kill Colonel of the security contractor Colonel? Alright, we have some options here. So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped. I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
Really?
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
Yeah, you're wrong quite often, that's true.
The who now?
He leans in and cups his ear.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
That's good. The corpse in ceramic armor, hanging behind the whirling racks. Did you shoot him? The fascist death squad who took a bullet in the mouth on the night of March 4th.
Oh yes, that one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener.
Opener, he basically confessed.
The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
There was something you can't remember. Trivial success. What? You're a communist? I talked to the dead man? No. Oh, he told me communism killed him. Alright, that's kind of fun. Come on, what am I forgetting? Hit yourself on the side of your head. We've done the ballistics.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You need medical aid.
I'm ready to die.
The view was perfect, with a pair of
I've done
binoculars.
my part.
It's the best uninterrupted line of sight into that window.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
If he doesn't care, why not just confess?
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
I don't need your cooperation, I've got this.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that, jumping hoops for the Liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen.
Ow.
So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Yeah, Volition is right. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Yes. I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds and then twitches once more.
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
Come on, what am I forgetting? You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. Oof, this will not work.
Wait, here
Oh.
it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Yes, exactly.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up.
Alright, guys, thank you. Of course, thank you, Had. Thank you.
You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul.
Amazing.
Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
Okay. There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells.
Yeah.
The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly, nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
A young woman called Clausia. Ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Clausier.
Yeah.
He repeats the name with care, as if it were at risk of breaking.
You like that name, don't you? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim.
He turns his sight from the whitened field of flowers and falls silent. I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Dross.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his feet.
The maker is called Sensorique, and the size is 42 to 44.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Wait, maybe it's simpler than that. Drama. Really drama? We can level it up. Really? Didn't we do it before? 58 is better, so let's try.
Simpler? No. This is another loose thread you will never connect.
Amazing. Goddamn footprints everywhere. I hate them.
The lieutenant raises his brow. What are you doing? He's thinking. We almost got him here.
Sorry.
Not now. Stop yourself.
What do we do now? We're not getting this prince to... Okay.
People change shoes, detective. It was you. You were there, weren't you? Crawling and whirling in rags. What were you doing? Some kind of reconnaissance? Preparing the scene? Listening in on her?
Trying to rack your brains. You're desperate to report something back to your masters. They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a soldier too. He was a man.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner.
This is a confession, right?
Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
So you killed him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
Hold your breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
The lieutenant asks after a second of silence.
Yes.
Good.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly. Very slowly.
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them?
I'm always looking.
he cocks his head to the side and turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
Helps him see all the shit.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
If it's part of the shit you see.
Then you pull the trigger?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
When did you first see the deceased?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce?
Wrinkled up whore.
What is it with this horse?
Black sexual morals are a bourgeois ploy. As to pederasty, the party legalized it in '04. My party, not your liberal masters. So don't you sermonize me, you racist shithole.
Or
It's still bourgeois when the bourgeois does it, fiddling with their sexual organs.
Some strange glandular process takes place in him at the thought, like yeast rising. And anger too, in addition to loneliness.
moving on, the victim arrives sometime after.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mesk phalangs weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
Oh, whites, okay, got it.
Hurting the strike breakers like that. I kept an eye on them.
Right. We can also extract the motive. What specifically did you not like about what you saw?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
Jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second. Writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
Oh, what a pity.
This man has seen past her, like you did. And now he longs to see her covered in blood. To punish her.
How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
So, he took it.
After she was gone,
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
no. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
Moving on.
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revershal's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook? From the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
How did you see all this? The bruises, that she was beaten?
I'm not blind, am I?
How does he know those minute details about her body? You watched her. Yeah, found the peephole. We know how.
It quickly comes to you.
The bruises on her body. Any chance you've seen them through a hole in the wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Disgusting.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
Such a hypocrite.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip-point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Ever see her through a window on a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling in racks. Those were your footprints there.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
And that too.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
You had feelings for that woman. I wouldn't call that feelings.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
Was that why you left the dried flowers?
No,
Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Mabel's.
Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
Say nothing.
Neither does he. He lowers his head, like a sunflower on a withered stalk. In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more. One more down.
You wanted to punish her.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf, airport bag in hand, silks flowing in her wake.
The dream.
See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air, burning.
You saw through her, so did I.
You're delusional. There's nothing to see in the soul of the bourgeois woman. It's the same as the surface. Sick hedonism and desperation.
Yeah, and he is such an expert. Men are insane.
The world is insane.
So it wasn't about him, it was about her.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes, then the reeds. There is a twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement.
Good.
That's it. Motive. We have it.
We have everything.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
We arrested her. Yeah, you know, let's lie. I don't like this guy.
Locked up with your masters, like I'll be. Maybe we'll meet. She kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, like she knew. Staring at the island. The fort. Like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Of course, she knew you were here.
Midtown, across the Bay of Rivershell, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lucerne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south. Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Street lights, towers, tenements and water, and across it a dark strip of ruins, barely visible if she didn't squint her eyes.
Oh, she really got away.
There, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of a sea fort stick out of the water, built by Philippe II, reappropriated by the Commune, then lost in the landing. He's there, doing what exactly I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heidelstam is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. Where? His voice trails off as the 3 walk down the jetty.
So they're waiting for us.
As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification like a rotten tooth rising out of the water. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good for this.
Thank you.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
More? We got everything.
You could get more out of him. He likes talking. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
We're not gonna pass this check, right? Composure. I mean, we could spend all of our points, but I don't know, because I'm not 100% sure this is the last person we talked to. Oh yeah. Josef Lilianovich Dross. You're under arrest for the murder of the colonel here in Martinez.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
What? We didn't.
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
I hope he doesn't have any more weapons.
But
Do you understand?
no, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
No.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and blacker.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Wait, this might be important. Where is it? Perception. Yeah, let's level it up by 1, I think. 58. Maybe another one. Alright, let's do another one.
You thought
Really?
you heard something, but it's just the reeds.
Alright. This is so upsetting. I really wanted to know what that was.
Maybe we could all fit in there.
We could all fit in the little boat. Does it have room for 3?
Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here. But
I don't think it's safe.
There's something you're not getting here that he's realizing.
But what?
who watches over him there while I come back for you?
We could all fit the little boat. Maybe I can just ask the net picker to watch him. How?
This is no harmless old man.
Yeah.
This fucking world. This world. What is this?
No, listen. Listen now.
You could come back for me. I want him to be safe.
No, it would take a whole day on this island. You go and transport the prisoner. I'll be here. I can escort him to the pier with you.
Maybe you're right.
This world? What are you talking about? Is this... us?
Your skin is crawling suddenly.
Why? Why? What's happening? What is this? Oh my god, is this? This is the phasmid, right? That's exactly how Lena described it.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
Yeah, it's exactly how Lena described it. It's so huge.
It's still there, an unfolding mechanism of reed-like chitin, hovering in place.
What is that?
What are you talking about?
The giant stick insect.
There's nothing there.
Are you sure?
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head.
Maybe that's what we could hear.
You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand rise instinctively.
There is, I see it.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Kim, can you see it?
I can see it.
Really?
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. It's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
Alright. Lena was right. Incredible.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. The segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Take long, deep breaths. Slow down your pulse. Don't move yet, and when you do, be light as a feather. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks.
Lena's childhood experience. Your corpse will be marked by what? The miracle way out in the west. Laid the pheromone on thick. What? Alright, 97%.
Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. Sweat drips from your brow, soaking your chest. You reek of it, your chemicals. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Okay, Kim, take the picture. Yes! Remember they said that we can take only one more picture. Kim, please.
Okay.
You can do it.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you.
Really? We did it.
I got it.
You hear the lieutenant's whisper as the creature's shape develops onto photo paper in his hand. A polychrome ghost of white streaks against the reeds and the sky, and you as a shadow before it.
For all time.
Slowly reach out and touch the creature's whisker. Carefully pat its scythe-like forearm.
The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing.
Run your hand up the slender limb, higher. Pull your hand away. Yeah, because I don't like that it's collapsing.
A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like the creature is awakening. Wave by wave from its stupor.
Slowly reach out and touch the creature's whisker.
The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the chitin curls into a spiral, like the tip of a poison ivy. Its touch on your fingertip feels cold, ticklish. The sensation is electrifying, resounding through your body. It is surprisingly delicate, the curly end of the whisker, like a young vine. It's even a bit wet. Looks like someone's got hurt in a fight. This antennae is much smaller than the other one.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
Look at your finger.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of moisture. The creature in front of you stays frozen.
Lick your finger. I think it's a bad idea, but I think Harry would do it.
It tastes like sugar, very faint. The anthropod towers above you, tufts of reeds pointing from limb and head alike. Odorless, mostly comprised of water.
We got it.
Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you.
I'm Harry. I don't know who I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Stand on your tiptoes and look more closely.
You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish. The faintest smell like you've never felt before, like burnt roses.
Kim, it's foamy.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one, letting out that same smell, like summer burning.
What are you doing? Spoke to the hanged man, did not give up on Phasmid, tasted it, knows of parthenogenesis. I don't remember what it is.
I exist.
What? She talks. I exist too.
Tell me what it's like for you.
It's wonderbar.
Yes, holy is the Lord of hosts, and all the earth is filled with his glory.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I will tell you what it's like for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist.
What am I doing? Right. Intruded upon by what?
Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never ache.
I'm glad to be me, an incredibly sensitive instrument.
Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you, with all of creation reflected in your forebrain. It must be like the highest of hells, a kaleidoscope of fire and writhing glass. Eternal damnation. Even when you're sleeping, and when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you.
It was very disorienting at first, but I'm keeping my shit together.
That must be incredibly hard. The Arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching. When you're tired, when the vision spins out of control, the insects will be looking on, rooting for you.
Thanks, it's sweet.
And when you fall, we will come to raise you up. Bud from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral, in honor of your passing. But not me, because I'm just a leaf eater.
Alright.
In honor of your will, Lieutenant Euphrator, that you kept from falling apart in the face of sheer terror, day after day, second by second. Detective,
What?
arriving
What do you mean?
on the scene.
Alright, thank you guys for your support. Is this a dream? What is happening? I'm a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
The killer.
He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not. I only quicken his deterioration.
You're destroying him.
Very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me for too long, and I am destroying him.
What exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulindian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds. molding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys.
It may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and officials of the occupation. Even the Samanese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Revershow, district of Martinez, March 51.
Oh, that's kinda sweet. Are you poisonous?
Yes, I do not have a starter display, so I use a neurodegenerative element to aid in camouflage. Do not worry, it is only destructive over long periods of time.
Are you the miracle?
No, you are the miracle.
Oh, that's nice.
The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively medium life form, while you are extreme, all-engulfing madness. A volatile simian nervous system, ominously new to the planet.
Oh, alright, thank you.
The Pale too came with you.
The Pale?
No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
Really? That is unexpected. What is the Pale?
It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
I don't have that kind of power.
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
That's a shame.
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Worse how?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if you misplace us all one day, or just forget?
But I want to blink and undo 12 billion years of meta expansion. I have already forgotten the whole world once, when I drank too much.
So it is already happening. Soon, one of you will close your eyes and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Where does this come from? All this, around us, the world.
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lilies.
Then all we can do is beat our fists against it, day after day.
You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
Is this a dream? What is happening?
No, you're awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Kim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
What does it look like?
You're just staring at it.
Then I think I'm having a vision. Nothing, just looking at the stick. No, I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
Not really. The case is meaningless. Sort of.
I think you should back away from the unstudied species now.
Okay. I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts. That was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all the creatures I've met, you're the kindest, scariest, the most beautiful.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman turned from the ruin Turn and go forward. For all mankind.
So she's saying we need to try to move on from Dora. I will try.
She was hell on Earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
This was nice and very unexpected.
And just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
Then the lieutenant looks north, with his hand raised to his brow. What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
It can walk on water.
Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
What now?
What now?
He's put his hand into the ash. It's dirty and black.
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Yes, of course. Oh! Why would we need it now? Oh, it's the helmet! And rifle.
Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown.
That's true. Don't think the helmet would have helped me anyway. At least my collector's impulse has been satisfied.
Indeed, you found it all. Now your mortal coil is completely protected. Few cops are this futuristic.
Thanks. At least now I'm truly invincible. Oh, this is her passport. We can interact with it, really.
This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of Oranje, is issued to a black-haired woman called Katarzyna Alazie.
Classia's hidden documents. From the empty boy.
Look at the photo.
It's Klasia, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow. An old photo, before life came and did what it does.
What was this doing in the phasmid's nest?
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was, hiding place, or
I think phasmid took it.
like a magpie?
Yeah.
What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other object, which would be highly unusual.
Why not?
I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it. But to seek this out would be very unusual behavior for an arthropod.
Would it? Maybe it was simply curious.
Maybe it was curious.
An octopus belongs to a very different class. It's not even an insect, it's a mollusk. But yes, I see your point.
It says Katarzyna Alazie.
She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk Meyer-Smith.
But wait, we've already heard this name. Katarzyna. I remember editing it, and I was thinking that why am I pronouncing it like it's Italian? Where did we see it then?
I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now, in another city.
Was supposed to be her real name. She lied to us. Oh, alright, I just misunderstood.
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us one more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now.
What's her real name?
I don't know, but it's not Katarzyna Alazie or Klasia or Anouk Meyer-Smith.
Yeah.
We didn't even scratch the surface with her, detective.
Yeah, I know. We should have arrested her.
Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what hell she'd be raising in my district by now.
Put the passport away. Great. So, let's finish with this guy.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Of course he didn't see the phasmid. The phasmid explained that they were using something to make them invisible to this guy.
See.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, his gap-toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing, like an addict of some terrible substance.
Touch his shoulder gently.
The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes the man. Other than that, no reaction. He feels small and frail.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
Oh, alright. What has happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
I think it's the phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
Kinda.
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke.
Could it be there is something hormonal? I talked to the phasmid. It's sad, it's destroying him.
You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you?
No way, I was only talking to it.
Are you sure? You were looking at it for a long time, almost as if you were hypnotized. Were you hypnotized?
Maybe. Anyway, it's only trying to remain unseen. The degradation is a side effect.
A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching a known species in the future, detective.
Got it.
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place, and the insect maybe. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
Yeah, it's incredible. We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
Show the passport.
No reaction. His breathing is slow, and he appears very old all of a sudden. Around 80.
I think we need to get help.
Did you take this passport and other papers from a boy on the coast?
The spirit.
He hears us. The spirit?
No reply. He's gone again.
Right, he needs some treatment.
Try something else?
No.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal. The strength has all gone out of him. Just frail old bones in a sack of tracksuit trousers and a windbreaker.
And tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Alright, I think that we are going to leave the ending till the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye.